Sodom and Gomorrah. What really happened in that place? Those people. Hey. So the Lord had heard an outcry concerning Sodom and Gomorrah, and he decided to go and check for himself. So the two angels of the Lord arrived at Sodom, and Lot met them and then told them, it's almost night. Please come and pass the night in my place, wash your feet, and then rest. Tomorrow morning, you can continue to where you're going. Lot didn't even know their mission. At first, they didn't want to agree, but Lot insisted, and so they followed him to his house. Genesis chapter 19, verse 4. But before they retired for the night, all the men of Sodom, young and old, came from all over the city and surrounded the house. They shouted to Lot, "Where are the men who came to spend the night with you? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them." They said all the men all over the city, they were gathering because they had two new men came into their city. And they said, "Bring them, let us do this with them." Lot pleaded with them and told them, "Please don't do this evil. Don't do this. These are my guests. Let me give you my two daughters. I have two daughters and they are virgins. Let me give them to you instead of doing this to these men." I don't know what Lot was thinking when he gave them that offer, but well, that's the offer he gave them. And they said, "No, it is the men they wanted." And when Lot was still trying to, talk to them, trying to make them see reasons, they were already, heading to him, trying to, open the door. And the Bible says the angels stretched out their hands outside and pulled Lot into the house and closed the door. And when they had closed the door, they blinded the men, young and old, who were at the door of the house, so they gave up trying to get inside. The angels had to do something. If not, those men were going to achieve what they came for. So they had to blind them. That was what stopped them from achieving what they came for. Now, meanwhile, the angels asked Lot, "Do you have any other relatives here in the city? Get them out of this place, your sons-in-law, sons, daughters, or anyone else, for we are about to destroy this city completely." They had seen what they came for. There was no other reason again to start looking around. No, what they saw was enough. So we're going to destroy it completely. So Lot rushed out to tell his daughter's fiancés, his two daughters that were virgins, the ones he was offering to those rascals. They were engaged, though they had fiancés. Lot went to the men and said, "See, you want to marry my daughters? Come and join us. Quick, let's get out of the city." But the young men thought he was only joking. They did not follow him. Verse 15, at dawn the next morning, the angels became insistent. "Hurry," they said to Lot, "take your wife and your daughters who are here. Get out right now or you will be swept away in the destruction of the city." When Lot still hesitated, the angels seized his hand and the hands of his wife and two daughters and rushed them to safety outside the city, for the Lord was merciful. You see that one righteous person they saw? By all means, they saved him. Even when he was dilly-dallying, he wasn't really sure himself, They pulled him by force out of the city. Verse 17, when they were safely out of the city, one of the angels ordered, "Run for your lives and don't look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Escape to the mountains or you'll be swept away." But Lot said, "Oh no, let me not go to the mountains because disaster may catch up with him there. Let me go to one of these smaller villages around." And the angels agreed. Verse 22, "But hurry, escape to it, for I can do nothing until you arrive there." So the safety of Lot was paramount. They couldn't do anything until he was safely settled in where he was going. Lot reached the village just as the sun was rising over the horizon. Then the Lord rained down fire and burning sulfur from the sky on Sodom and Gomorrah. He utterly destroyed them. But Lot's wife looked back as she was following behind him, and she turned into a pillar of salt. The instruction was simple: hurry, don't look back. But she turned back and she was turned into a pillar of salt. So that's the story of Sodom. You can imagine the height of decadence. Two men came to your city for the first time to just pass the night, and all the men in the village gathered. That one was too much. The story still continues with Lot and his daughters. You remember their mom died? The next video.